hope you guys are all doing well and having a great day so far. Today I wanted to make sure that we were going to do a helpful video. I haven't done much of like a sit down self-help kind of video, and that's what I wanted to do for you guys. If you guys don't know, I am posting every Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays now, so make sure that you have your post notifications on because I am being very consistent and trying to grow this channel just for the purpose of helping others out there. So today I am talking about pretty much advice on those who either have a chronic disease or an autoimmune disorder and they are thinking about starting a family. And I would love to just give some advice to everyone out there that is just has this family idea on their mind. I remember before I got pregnant and had my children, I always questioned whether or not I was able to have kids, and I questioned whether or not it was healthy for me, if I was gonna have a healthy child, if whatever I had was gonna get passed down to my children, and those are really big fears to have. I know that an important part to starting a family when you have an autoimmune disease, it's very important to be in tune with your body and to try to be the healthiest that you possibly can be before you really start to get pregnant or have a family. Because I remember initially when I got pregnant and I had a miscarriage and everything, it was so traumatizing. And I felt like it was just completely due to my lupus. And that just really discouraged me. And then I got pregnant shortly after and I had a healthy, beautiful baby, nothing wrong whatsoever, and doesn't show any signs of any autoimmune diseases or anything thus far, fingers crossed. But lupus, what I have, is not hereditary. So that was a very good thing to learn about. But you have to really make sure that your health is the strongest that it has been. And both times that I've gotten pregnant, I was starting to become stronger mentally and health-wise. I don't know if like by chance or miracle that the universe just knew that I was healthy enough to carry a child, but every single time I was consistent going with the gym or working out, eating very healthy and consistently taking my medication, that I just got pregnant during those times. So it's very important to be consistent with being the healthiest version of yourself. And this includes, again, eating healthy, exercising, taking whatever prescription medication that you're supposed to be taking, going to every single follow-up doctor's appointment with your primary care provider, with your rheumatologist or whatever specialist doctor that you may be seeing, as well as going to see the gynecologist when you do get pregnant. And so I find that it's very crucial that you are consistent with your medication. For lupus, you take hydroxychloroquine or Plaquenil, it's also known as, and that is an anti-malarial. It's been studied to where it's completely safe for the babies. I took it during my both pregnancies and there were no effects on the children whatsoever. But I have to tell you that you should probably make sure that you are taking your medication consistently at least 6 months prior to conceiving, and that's because most of those chronic treatments or autoimmune treatments, they take up to 6 months to really have that full effect in your system. And so you want to make sure that you are top notch, you have your Plaquenil in your system that is fighting off any type of inflammation and anything like that before you try to get pregnant. And as a disclaimer, You also need to get clearance from your primary care doctor, from your specialist doctor, and so on. If you're anything like me, if you have lupus or any other autoimmune diseases, they may automatically consider you a high-risk pregnancy when you do get pregnant. And I personally liked that because with a high-risk pregnancy, you get, I want to say special treatment almost, and I enjoyed that because I got weekly doctor's appointments. I got weekly stress tests towards the end where I even got to sit in a nice massage chair 2 times a week, and it was like consistent follow-up. You even get more ultrasounds, more blood work, and it really eased my mind, especially after having a miscarriage, just to constantly know that the baby was doing well and that my body was doing well. There is some concerns with getting pregnant when you do have an autoimmune disease such as lupus, and that is you're at an increased risk of having kidney failure with pregnancy, and that's why I recommend anybody that is trying to start a family that does have an autoimmune disease that's relatively close to mine, to where it affects every single organ of the body, to take your medication, because I cannot stress enough how much better I feel when I actually do take the medicine. I have not been on Plaquenil for almost an entire year because of stomach issues that I've been trying to pinpoint where it's stemming from. But I can tell from being off the medicine that I'm getting run down and less energy. I don't feel as strong. I'm weaker. And even nowadays, you guys probably notice in my videos, I'm like out of breath and everything. It's because I'm literally trying to get some oxygen in me. But I do feel a difference, and it worries me to think about the possibility of me getting pregnant at such a time where I already feel kind of lousy. And so I'm recommending you are consistent with that medicine just to protect yourself, protect your baby, and everything. Interesting fact though, when you are pregnant and have lupus, I'm not sure if this is, I don't know if this fits with any other autoimmune disorders, but when you're pregnant and you do have lupus, if there's some type of inflammation going on in your body, the placenta of the baby will heal your body. And that is not just a beautiful thing of nature, but it is amazing to me because every time I was pregnant, I felt amazing. It's literally like I don't have lupus at all. It's like I actually feel normal for once. And that's why, I mean, a part of me now misses being pregnant, but there's no way I would get pregnant right now because I just have not been on my lupus medicine, which is actually pretty dangerous to not be on it. And don't worry, you guys, don't get on my butt, but I am trying to get with a new rheumatologist because we just moved, and I'm trying to get back to making sure that I'm healthier. But not to steer too far away from the topic at hand, but I definitely recommend making sure you're on your medication. You probably heard that like 10 times already in this video. I recommend being very consistent with your health, and I recommend you carry the consistency with your health as you're pregnant. And so that means going on walks as often as you can, still eating healthy. It's so easy for someone that's pregnant to really indulge, and that's totally fine because why not enjoy pregnancy? But somebody that has an autoimmune disease or any other chronic health issues, you want to be concerned about or just more aware about the foods that you're consuming, because your gut health actually controls your entire immune system, how you're feeling, everything, and it affects you physically, mentally, and you want to make sure that you have as less of inflammation as possible, especially during pregnancy. You don't want to put stress on your body. Stress on your body means stress on the baby. And so you gotta make sure you're eating healthy, you're exercising when you can. That doesn't mean you can't have pizza every night or every other night when you're pregnant. It just simply means that you should probably have a smoothie during the day, or make all your other meals a little bit more health conscious. But I definitely loved pizza when I was pregnant with Cora, so that's why I'm saying pizza and Arby's, which is not the best. You should, if you have any chronic illnesses, you really shouldn't eat fast food at all, because you'll notice a big difference, and I have noticed a big difference when you start eating healthy. Your autoimmune disease kind of disappears. It starts to dwindle off somewhere else, and that's kind of the biggest thing I've picked up from not being on any medications this entire year, is that that's what affects it the most. Because the moment I go for some shredded wheat or some chips or something that's just totally processed, the next day I'm like, literally, that's how I feel. And so it's very important. And plus, I mean, your baby eats what you eat, so it'll be kind of easy anyways to want to eat healthy, because now you're in charge of, you know, another human being, and it's your child, and you want the best for your child as well. So pregnancy, getting pregnant, everything needs to be cleared by your doctor, need to be on your prescription medication. You need to eat healthy. And as for the after effects of pregnancy and having children and living with an autoimmune disease or chronic disease, there are some things that you need to adjust in your life, because the first year after you do have a child, your hormones are struggling to level out, and that really affects your condition. And so usually when your hormones are out of whack, like with my lupus, when my hormones are just crazy, I feel like crap, absolute crap. I can feel like my lungs burning, I'm super fatigued, and my stomach just inflamed and everything. And so you need to make sure to do whatever it takes to try to balance out those hormones. And usually it's just a natural process, because after pregnancy, your body's just trying to figure its way back to being you again. And so you just got to be aware that that could possibly put you into a flare-up as your body adjusts its hormones. And so what I did, I tried to get on my meal plan, and I try to do everything to eat healthy to limit the possibility of possibly having a flare-up, as well as investing in some primrose oil, which is little vitamins that are actually supposed to help level out your hormones. And I found out that those did a pretty good job of doing so. Then after your hormones and everything's are settled back, you have your brand new baby in hand. It's now time that you just start this life with a family and a new baby, and still managing your chronic disorder. Before the baby, you had the time to work out, you had the time to go to the store and get lots of healthy food to eat, you had the time to actually eat your food, you had the time to focus more and take care of yourself. And once the baby gets here, it's a major adjustment, because your attention goes towards the baby. And if you're a first-time mom, probably all of your attention goes towards the baby. And so you really, I want to say you guys, because this is just my experience, and what happened with me is I just completely forgot about myself and my own health. And that's why I'm saying it's very important that even though you do have this brand new baby that needs every single second of your attention, you have to really, you know, step back and make sure that you're doing things that pretty much maintain your health. Because if you're not healthy, then you can't take care of the baby, and you really got to take care of yourself in order to take care of the baby. and your entire family. So this is where I really suggest talking with your partner if you are considering starting a family and everything. These are things that you need to be made aware. You know, when the baby comes, I'm gonna need you to help out a little bit more. And some days I may need an entire day to myself, and that's to focus on my health. So I need to go for a walk. I need to go do my nails. I need to go take a bubble bath and relax every night. These are things that I do to try to manage my health. I work out outside. I haven't been able to go to the gym because I have 2 babies and I can't leave the babies by themselves, but I do home workouts, and I try to make juices, and I include the kids with making juices, anything healthy. And I speak to Robbie, my partner, about getting alone time. And you can't be afraid to speak up and say, hey, I need an hour or 2 to myself. I need a day or whatever, because if you don't get those moments to yourself, you could be bedbound, you can get sick, you can get worse, and it's something that you don't want your kids to really be exposed to. At least me, you know, I really don't want to. Beforehand, I was very open with my lupus, and I shared every aspect of my lupus, and I still do that and everything, but now I just don't talk about it as much around my kids, because I don't want them to just think of, you know, mommy's sick all the time, even though I feel like crap almost every day. But I don't want them to think, you know, mommy's sick all the time, and I don't want to see that, or I don't want them to see me in the hospital and stuff like that. So it's very important to take care of yourself, and it is a life adjustment. Already, when you have a kid for the first time, you start a family, it's a big adjustment for everybody already. But if you have a chronic disease, it's an even more adjustment, because you have to really just not forget about yourself. And I mean, I just can't stress enough how important that is to really stay focused on your health, even though it's so easy to get distracted. And so that would just be my major advice, is to sit down and make sure you have a reliable partner that's totally understanding to your needs as well. Because I mean, there's got to be compromise, there's got to be understanding. The person you're in a relationship with has to understand you, has to understand your needs, and has to be up for the possible struggles, you know, in the future. Because it's not just becoming a parent, because there may be some days where your spouse will have to not just take care of the baby, but help take care of you and help take care of, you know, the household. And so that's a lot on someone's plate. And so you definitely don't want to start a family with somebody that doesn't understand your chronic disease. And so you want to make sure that that person's been around for a while. They have to understand that, you know, there may be some days where I have to be rushed to the hospital, so I'm going to need you to, you know, watch the baby. And so they have to be just aware of like what they're signing up for. And that is something, honestly, I struggled with before I started a family. I just felt almost like sorry for myself, and then I just felt like, you know, Robbie deserves so much better. Like, he has the opportunity to go out in this world and pick somebody else that doesn't have an autoimmune disease, and I mean, he could go and find somebody that is totally up for going on bike rides every single day, up for doing this and that at any type of moment. But I felt like he was like stuck with somebody that is just like, well, let me see how I'm feeling. But I mean, my mind is there. I totally am up for doing all these things, but it's like, will my body let me? Because some days my body doesn't let me raise my arms. And so that right there is difficult. But obviously I was talking nonsense, because if the man loves you, regardless, he's gonna be there for you, and he's gonna be there for the baby. And it's gonna become so normal. It's going to be normal. You know, they're not going to know anything else. They're not going to want anything else, because all they want at the end of the day, if your partner loves you, is for you to be healthy and happy. And I am just so blessed to say that if you do have a chronic disorder or disease, whatever it may be, or health problem, you are able to have a family and you are able to do things. I mean, you have to adjust to different things, but you would have to adjust to different things regardless of if a baby was there or not. But you just have to be more focused on your health when the baby arrives, and that means going to your appointments, taking your prescriptions. And don't listen to my advice because I didn't take mine for the last year, but just forget that. You listen to like what I'm saying now. Don't follow me for that part of it. But taking your prescriptions, eating healthy, exercising when you can, and these are all things you have to make time for. This isn't going to be something that you could be like, oh, well, I'll just do it tomorrow, I'll do it later. No, if you could only work out for 10 minutes a day, just walking down the block, do it. And it's also really good because these are things you can do with the family too. So going for walks, making smoothies, healthy treats. I mean, these are also things that are teaching your kids, you know, healthy habits. And so you're not only taking care of yourself, you're taking care of your children as well. So that's something I've learned that, you know, is a big adjustment, is just incorporating your children with your healthy habits. And once you start to really intertwine like your family life with your health needs, everything becomes normal, everything feels right, and it's just completely possible to have a family. Before having kids, I never would have thought I could do all this. I would just be like, I'm too sick to do all this, I can't do it at all. And the great thing about having a family, I don't think about my chronic disease like as often as I did before, because before I had kids, I thought about it nonstop. And when you think about something nonstop, it happens a lot more. So if you think about, I have lupus, I don't feel well, this and that, I'm gonna not feel well all the time, and it's just gonna be a negative thing in my mind. But having kids is such a positive thing because my mind's always on them. And then most days I'm like, I don't even have lupus because it's not being talked about. I'm not being reminded that I have it. And so it's like you just live the normal life. And it's always about creating the life you want to live. And if it's something that you really want to do, you got to do it. And it's just, as long as you have that clearance from the doctor, you're good to go. And that really is the best advice that I could give you, is to have an understanding partner, to not forget about your own health, to make it a priority even after the baby comes, to do whatever treatment plan your doctor wants you to do, whether that be prescriptions or exercising or eating healthy or all together. Just make it happen. And then my last piece of advice is to create ways, again, to mesh your health needs with your family. And so everything is just, it just becomes normal. And I just want to create this video to help so many women out there, because I remember being in that stage in my life where I was like, feeling so bad for myself because I felt like I can't have kids. It's such a drain for everybody, you know, me and the person I'm with. It's just, is this even possible? And it totally is possible. And not only is it possible, but it's great. I feel like I've been the happiest I've ever felt in my life. And when you're happy, your body begins to heal. And you really feel the effects of being healthy. And so, healthy and happy. So, if you guys like this video, please like this video for love. And make sure you go share my videos so we can help some other beautiful people out there in this world. And if you haven't already, subscribe to my channel and follow me on all of my social media accounts. If you really enjoyed this video and want me to do some more advice videos, shoot me a comment down below. And if you're going through something so crazy, terribly wrong at the moment, just know tomorrow's a new day. If I can get through it, you can get through it. And yeah, you got this, warrior. And I will be talking to all of you guys soon. Bye.